Hello, I'm Sophie, and welcome to the Publishing Twins podcast.
And I'm Tasha. And today we'll be talking about Anthony Stewart Head, an icon of film and stage work who we sadly lost this week.
Yeah, and of course, we call him Anthony Stewart Head because he's most famous in the US for Buffy. In the UK, he's just Anthony Head. He was called Anthony Stewart Head in the US because the Actors Screen Guild required it, because there was already another actor called Anthony Head registered with them. So he had to add the extra Stewart in the middle. But of course, when we first knew him, we Gen Xers in the late 80s and early 90s, we didn't know his name at all because we fell in love with him as one half of the Gold Blend couple, which is a set of ads in the UK. I think they're called Taster's Choice in the US.
I'm sorry to bother you, but I'm having a dinner party and I've run out of coffee.
Come in.
Thank you.
They were so famous in the UK that everybody knew them, and there was this saga. It went on for advert after advert after advert, where with this progression of romance. It was like one of those great romance novels going on in adverts. It was so cool. And he was the suave and debonair neighbour who happened to have Gold Blend coffee to lend to his neighbour when she was having a dinner party and had run out, and it was a terrible, terrible problem she had. Yeah.
And I can't remember what the rest of the premises were in those adverts, but it was all will they, won't they, all the way through.
Yeah, they did eventually declare their love for each other.
Besides,
At the very end.
I love you.
Of course. I mean, that was the first time a soap opera actually finished the plot.
Indeed.
But it was actually so famous in the UK that when we were in our sixth form at school and we were writing part of the sixth form panto, we actually spoofed the Gold Blend adverts because we put adverts between the scenes, and we wrote the adverts, and one of them was a spoof of the Gold Blend ad with, I think it was me in a little black dress, and I think Tash, you were playing the man.
Was an all-girls school.
Yeah, all girls school. Yes, just to explain that. Yeah, we didn't have any men to play the men, so Tash played the man. But it was about loo paper. It was about toilet roll, and we did it before Jasper Carrot did. And if you don't know who Jasper Carrot is, I suggest is another one. Ask your mum.
Yeah, he was quite a famous comedian, but I don't think he's done anything in a while. And still going on about the Gold Blend adverts, I remember we had my father was vicar of Chilham, and Chilham is a beautiful church, and so we had some quite famous people come and get married there. One of whom was Martin Clunes, and he had loads of famous friends. So the church was full of actors and musicians and everything. But the one who was the most important as far as the crowd from Chilham was concerned was the lady from the Gold Blend adverts. Unfortunately, Anthony Head was not there as well, but you make do.
But Sharon Maughan was pretty famous in her day as well. I mean, I remember her from Holby City as well, which is a soap opera about a hospital. She was in that for quite a while. She was a very popular character. Anyway, we may have known Anthony Head and not known his name from the Gold Blend ads for years in the late 80s and early 90s, but he's been around a while. I mean, he started in Godspell. That's a musical about Jesus, the life of Jesus, very holy. But he was also at the other end of the spectrum. He played Frankenfurter, an alien transvestite in Rocky Horror.
Can you imagine the two audiences for those coming together? I imagine one lot would have a heart attack and the other would just have fun. But yeah, so he did everything. And during the 1980s and the early 90s, he was a jobbing British actor. He showed up in everything, like Highlander the series he was in, and Bergerac, and Boone, and all sorts of British TV shows that are that anybody from America has probably never heard of.
Except Highlander the series.
Well, yes, but that was an American series that filmed in Paris, so it got lots of British actors in it as well.
Yeah, it's amazing how many British actors you find in Highlander the series. One of the shows I remember him from, those British shows, was Jonathan Creek. He was in the pilot. Jonathan Creek is a detective show which starred Alan Davies, and Anthony Stewart Head played Adam Klaus, who's a magician and is Jonathan Creek's boss, because Jonathan Creek designs magic tricks, and that's how his brain works, and that's apparently how he can solve mysteries.
Of course, because that's exactly how a detective would solve a mystery. Yeah.
But then after that, of course, he was only in the pilot because he then got the job on Buffy.
And that launched him to be a household name all the way through America and everywhere Buffy was shown, because Buffy became such an iconic show. Buffy the Vampire Slayer it's in the group consciousness. Even if people haven't seen it, they've heard of it. And it never mattered what he played afterwards. I mean, he played King Arthur's dad, but he's still always going to be Rupert Giles to so many people. And he was just brilliant in that role. I mean, he was just very, very British, which is exactly what it needed.
Yeah, and I think that was his forte, wasn't it? Playing the posh British chap. I mean, when you see him in other stuff, he's not always that posh. He's very English, but he's not always that posh. But as Rupert Giles, he was the epitome of Britishness. And actually, no, I'll say Englishness.
Englishness, yes. I mean, he was even a librarian. I mean, you can't, yes. That's how many people will remember him, even though he was a great man outside of that. And he did so much.
It's a shame that he never actually made it to any of the Buffy conventions we had in the UK that we helped at.
Yes.
We had all the other actors, but he never made it to one that we were at. He did make it to some conventions in the UK, I think, but we just never got to the same ones, which was a shame, because it would have been nice to have seen a Brit when we've seen all the Americans.
Yeah, I mean, I did discover I have Jeremy Renner's autograph about 5 times because he was at that convention we were at that time, that we were helping with. But yeah, it's amazing who you forget was in Buffy and Angel as well, because there were so many people that went through it as well. I do love the Ripper episodes in Buffy as well, because he gets to play the bad boy in that, which he's also brilliant at.
He is a really good actor. He was in Persuasion, the British TV series Persuasion. I mean, he won awards. He won an Indie Award for a movie. He won the Best Supporting Actor Award. He was a very good supporting actor in 2016, actually, from the Prague Independent Film Festival for Despite the Falling Snow. So he was an award-winning actor, and I think it showed everything he did. I think because he learnt his craft on the stage, on radio, on TV, in film, he could do everything. He could step up, turn up as a guest part in any show, and play and play whoever they wanted him to. I mean, yes, most of the things we know him for, he's a posh British guy. I mean, when he played Uther Pendragon, that was very posh.
And
In
quite
Merlin.
evil, and quite he was a good foil as well. He because he can play bad guys well too.
Or grey, because I think Uther was a grey character, wasn't he? He wasn't all bad. He had his reasons.
But but of course he was in direct conflict with Merlin, therefore he was the bad guy. But yes, but he wasn't the uber bad guy. He was just the one who was a problem.
Although, I mean, it's like even some of the other stuff that he's played, I think British actors again like to play bad guys. He did radio, actually. He did it was Bleak Expectations for radio, which was spins on Dickens stuff, comedy. But he played this is such a good name. He played the arch villain, Mr. Gently Benevolent.
Oh, that's a good name. I like that. But I mean, that's another thing. He was brilliant at comedy as well. I mean, he could do good guys. He could do bad guys. He could do the comedy relief. I mean, let's face it. Buffy the Vampire Slayer showed him off beautifully like that, because Giles was often the foil.
He played the straight man to everything that was going on with Buffy. And he could do everything from, he could make you laugh and then make you cry minutes later. And his life didn't stop after Buffy. And he came back to the UK and he did Doctor Who of all things. So the new Who, as they call it. He worked at opposite David Tennant. He was in this episode called School Reunion, and he played, of all things, an evil alien headmaster. Again, very posh, very British, very alien though. But he's done all sorts of Doctor Who as well, not just the TV show. He's done some of the Big Finish adventures, so all the audio stuff. He's also done, he actually did a documentary for Radio 2, a 2-part one, which is called Project Who, which is about the new Doctor Who as well. But he narrated the 3rd and 4th seasons of Doctor Who Confidential, which is an extra show. I don't know if you get it in the US. They run it in the UK, and it runs in parallel. It's behind the scenes kind of series about Doctor Who that runs in parallel when the series is running. But he's also done. He voiced the character Balthazar Scourge of the Universe. That was an animated special, so he's lent his voice to a lot of things as well.
Well, basically, he's a trusted actor. They know every series knows if they bring him in to do anything, he'll just be brilliant at it. He'll knock it off the page. He did have a great voice, absolutely great voice. So, I mean, brilliant on radio and in audio, absolutely superb. And so he continued to be a jobbing actor, showing up in episodes of things. I mean, he was even in Bridgerton. I didn't know he was in Bridgerton. I have to admit, I have actually never watched Bridgerton. I know it because it keeps popping up on my Tumblr timeline.
And I get the feeling that it mustn't been another posh white man, English white man, because he played Lord Sheffield.
Yes. I also, another series I haven't watched that he was in was Ted Lasso. And he had a recurring role in that, so he was in all the seasons. He was a trusted actor. They knew he'd show up and he'd be brilliant.
And on top of that, he was also a fantastic musician. He loved music, and I mean, there's lots of evidence of him singing live at conventions, but also when he had music out, apart from Godspell, which is where he started, and Rocky Horror, the Buffy musical episode, which was Once More with Feeling, the guy who directed and created Repo the Genetic Opera saw him, and he ended up in Repo because of it. But he released his own. He had his own single called "Cry" out in 2012, and he also had a whole album called "Staring at the Sun," which was in 2014 that he released. Now, I would love to hear that. I don't think I've ever heard anything from it, but I have heard him sing, and he's just got such a fabulous voice.
I mean, if you start in Godspell, you're going to have to, aren't you? And Rocky Horror. I mean, those parts are not easy to sing. You have to be a talented singer and a talented musician for to appear in those shows. Yeah. And it was just, yeah. I mean, I'm not sure there was anything he couldn't do, frankly, when it comes to the stage and screen.
Yeah, comedy, straight, singing, dancing, all sorts. Yeah.
Fishnets. I mean.
yeah. But he also, I mean, we've talked about him doing radio, but he was in The Archers too. And I mean, I expect everybody's heard of The Archers, even if you're not in the UK, because it's been going for 40 years, I think. Been going for a very long time, a radio play. It was a soap opera before most soap operas, been going as long as Coronation Street and those kind of things, but on radio. And he was in that as well. He was also in a sitcom called Cabin Pressure, Hercules Shipwright. He was the romantic interest for the airline CEO, apparently.
Of course, that's what he does well.
And he also actually reprised the role of Giles in Buffy Audio. So it was for Audible. He did an audio series called Slayers, a Buffyverse story, which was alongside. I mean, there was James Masters, Charisma Carpenter. A lot of his Buffy co-stars were in it, and that was in 2023, and that was on. Yeah, that was just an audio series. So I suppose you can't reprise your role when you're too old for it, but but you can if you're on radio. That's great. Radio is brilliant for that.
We're going to miss him so much on our TV screens, in wonderful new parts. But we will definitely be watching him in reruns, because he really was a brilliant actor that just popped up all over the place.
Yeah, we are really going to miss his charm, his charisma. He just lit up the screen, whatever part he was playing. And of course, we send our condolences to his daughters, Emily and Daisy, who he's left behind. We're so sorry for you, because it must have been such a shock just at 72 to lose him.
Yeah, he really was a great actor, and it's a shame we lost him so soon. I mean, he
was only 72.
Yeah, that's no age, is it, these days? No age at all.
No, I think it was a shock for everyone. I mean, they said complications from pneumonia, didn't they?
And but so many people said such lovely things about him. So you get the feeling that he was a genuinely good guy.
Nice person, yeah.
Yeah, genuinely nice person. Because all of the stuff that was popping up all over YouTube and other social media about him, it's just been, everybody's been loved working with him, and it's just beautiful to see. And
yeah,
we have been robbed of a great actor, and his poor family have been robbed of their dad. And it's terrible. So thank you, Anthony Stewart Head, for all the wonderful TV, film and audio and everything you've given. You were a great actor, and it sounds like you were also a wonderful man.
Yes, thank you for everything you gave us. We'll miss you on our screens. And on that note, bye everybody.
Bye bye.